Jai Hind. Today I will be discussing the very basic but important topic in oral surgery, that is instrumentation for basic oral surgery. I, Dr. Mohit Bindal, Senior Lecturer from Department of Oral Maxillofacial Surgery from Subhati Dental College and Hospital, Swami Vivekanand Subhati University, Meerut, UP. So I will be discussing this topic under the following content, that is introduction, armamentarium and various tray system. So let's start with the introduction. There are myriads of instruments are available to perform oral surgical procedure. They have been used for a variety of purposes, broadly into two categories to handling hard tissue and soft tissue. As per there is no standard classification for armamentarium. For better understanding and simplification, I will be discussing this armamentarium according to the purpose they have been used, like instrument for incising tissue, instrument for elevating mucoperiosteum, instrument for retracting soft tissue, instrument for controlling hemorrhage, instrument for grasping tissue, instrument for removing bone, instrument for removing soft tissue from the bony defects, instrument for suturing mucosa, instrument for holding mouth open, instrument for providing suction, instrument for transferring sterile instrument, instrument for holding towel and drape in position, instrument for irrigation. Apart from this, I will be discussing dental elevator, extraction forceps and various instrument tray system. So let's start with the instrument used for incising tissue. So most surgical procedures they begin with the incision, and for giving an incision we require a scalpel. The scalpel mainly consists of a two component, a sterile blade and a handle. Handle can be available in two forms, either reusable or disposable. Handle they are available in various sizes. Number 3, which is most commonly used in oral surgery, and number 7, which is longer and more slender, occasionally used. The handle has a slot to receive various different size of sterile blade. So there are different types of blades are available, that is from number 10, 11, 12 and 15. Number 10 blade, it's mainly used for giving a skin incision. Number 11, it is a sharp pointed blade. It mainly used to give a stab incision to establish drainage in cases of an abscess. Number 12, it is a curved blade. It's mainly used to perform mucogingival procedures, especially in the posterior area where accessibility will be a difficult problem. Number 15, it is most commonly used in oral surgical procedure. It's mainly used to give incision around the tooth and to the mucoperiosteum. So commonly what we practice for loading of this blade, we use our finger or we use an instrument which is provided by our assistant, which increases the risk of injury to the operator finger. In order to avoid this injury, we should follow proper technique. Ideally, the blade should be loaded with the help of the needle holder. The blade should be held onto the unsharpened end and should be slide onto the male portion or a slot which is there onto the handle, and should be slide till snugly fit. For unloading of the blade should be held with the help of the needle holder onto the most proximal portion and should be disengaged from the slot, and we should be away from the operator while we unload this blade in order to avoid any injury to the operator. Scalpel should be held in a pink grass. With the help of this grass, while giving incision, maximum control of the blade can be achieved. For giving incision over the mobile tissue, it should be held firmly with the help of tension so that the mobile tissue can be stabilized while giving incision, otherwise it may displace the tissue. For giving incision over the mucoperiosteal, the knife should press down firmly through the mucosa and the periosteum with the same stroke. So after giving incision over the mucoperiosteum, we required a elevator to reflect the mucoperiosteum from the bone. The most commonly used elevator in the oral surgery is molds number 9 periosteal elevator. It's, has, it has two ends, sharp end and a broad end. Sharp end used to reflect the dental papilla between the teeth and the mucoperiosteum with the help of the prime motion, whereas the broad end used to continuation of reflection of mucoperiosteum with the help of the push stroke. Some surgeons they prefer round-ended molds periosteal elevator for reflection of the mucoperiosteum. Number 1 Woodson periosteal elevator very similar to the molds periosteal elevator but is very small in size and delicate. as compared to it and release the soft tissue around the tooth. The periosteum can be reflected by the following method: prime motion. In this, the pointed end used to reflect the dental papilla; push stroke, that uses the broad end of the instrument and the most efficient stroke to reflect the periosteum from the underlying bone; and the last, the pull stroke, that is scrape stroke. It is more likely to tear the mucosa. Next is the Howard's periosteal elevator. It is designed to strip mucoperiosteum from the bone. It is used in a pancreas. Freer's elevator is used for reflecting the gingiva surrounding the tooth before extraction. It is easy to use and has thin end. Desmotomes, they are either straight or curved. The straight one they use for anterior teeth of the upper jaw, whereas a curved one for use for rest of the teeth of the upper and all the teeth of the lower jaw. Now let's see the instrument for retracting soft tissue. These instruments provide good vision accessibility at the surgical site, and they also retract the cheek, tongue and mucoperiosteal flap. The first C-shaped retractor used for retraction of cheek. It is a metal C-shaped retractor. Cheek retractor, that is for retraction of cheek and lip. It is also called as spandex. The two most popular cheek retractor, that is right angle Austen retractor and the Minnesota retractor. These retractors simultaneously retract the mucoperiosteal flap and the cheek. When the flap is not deflected, the retractor is placed loosely in the cheek to retract the cheek. Once the flap is elevated, this retractor, Austen retractor edge, is placed over the bone to retract the mucoperiosteal flap. Periosteal elevators often used to retract the soft tissue. Selden retractor is specifically designed to retract the soft tissue flap. This looks very similar to the periosteal, but its ends are dull. Langenbeck retractor. It's a L-shaped retractor with a long handle. It is used for retraction of edges of the flap for improved visualization of deeper layer and structure. This L-shaped retractor has a ring in which the operator or assistant can place their finger to retract the soft tissue. It comes in different sizes depending upon the length of the handle and the width of the blade. Instrument which is used to retract tongue. Mouth mirror, which is commonly used for examination of the oral cavity and the various structures, has been used to retract the tongue commonly, and also used to depress the tongue by visualization of the posterior pharyngeal structure. Vida retract is a broad heart-shaped retractor. It is serrated on one side to firmly engage tongue, which retracted medially and anteriorly. Tongue depressor, also called a lex. It has broad, flat, rounded blade. Towel clip is mainly used to retract the tongue anteriorly when performing any biopsy procedure over the tongue in the posterior area of the tongue. LA should be given in the area where we are placing a towel clip. Skin hook, as the name suggests, it retracts and holds the skin from underlying tissue. With the help of this, undesirable trauma to the skin during surgical procedure may be reduced to a minimum, which will be result in decreased incidence of wound infection and inflammation and better wound healing. More desirable cosmetic result can be achieved. When an incision is made to the tissue, small arteries and veins occur, and these result in a bleeding, which is usually controlled by pressure application. When the bleeding occurs from a larger vessel, they are not easily controlled by the pressure application. They require a hemostat to control the hemorrhage. The hemostats, they mainly available in different sizes, smaller to larger. They are also available as straight and curved. The curved hemostat is most commonly used in a surgery. The beaks of these instruments are longer and they have a parallel grooves on it. Long delicate beaks of the hemostat helping grasping the tissue. The locking handle mechanism of this instrument allow the surgeon to let it go of the instrument once the vessel is clamped or it is held by the assistants. Once the vessel is clamped with the hemostat, the surgeon either they suture the vessel or cauterize it. Apart from controlling bleeding, the hemostat they can be used to remove granulation tissue from the tooth socket, or they are helpful in picking up the small tooth tips, pieces of calculus, fragments of amalgam restoration, or any other small particle that have dropped into the mouth or wound area. The point to be remembered here, these instruments should never be used for suturing of tissue. Hemostasis can also be achieved by electrocautery. Direct or alternating current pass through a resistant metal wire electrode which generate heat. Heated electrode is then applied to a tissue to achieve hemostasis. Electrode is applied across the lesion until it becomes slightly pink to pale. Coagulation occurs. Electrode uses monopolar bipolar electrode to generate low voltage, high ampere current at a low power. Monopolar electrocortic consists of a high frequency AC generator, regulator, foot control, elective electrode, indifferent electrode. The patient is a part of the electrical circuit. Interchangeable tips are available such as loop, fine tips, needle tips. Monopolar electrocortic can be used for different purposes by changing the intensity of the current as cutting purpose, coagulation or fulguration. Bipolar electrocortic, both active and return electrodes are incorporated into a single hand-handled instrument. It does not have an indifferent electrode. The current passes between the tips of these two electrodes and affects a small amount of the tissue. So when the two tips of this bipolar electrocortic come in contact, they produce a current at the localized site. Precaution to be taken during electrocortic: avoid point contact with indifferent electrode, avoid placement of indifferent electrode near bony ridges, ether cyclopropane used for general anesthesia, there are risk of sparking, operator should wear rubber footwear, avoid contact of the tip with the metal instrument. Lister sinus forceps is an instrument which is used to drain the abscess. This instrument has a long beak, and at the end of the beak it has a serration transverse sleeve. This instrument does not have any locking mechanism in the head handle, and the tip of the instrument is rounded. So once they are inserted inside the abscess, it is always inserted in a closed manner, and inside the abscess it is open up into the various directions to drain the pus or break up the locus. This method is called Hilton's method. While they are inserting into the tissue or inside the abscess in a closed manner in order to avoid injury to the vital structure, apart from draining the sinus, it is also help to hold the small gauze to clean the cavity, to dissect out sinuses, fistula tract in soft tissue. Various oral surgical procedures require the grasping of the tissue by the surgeon for the purpose of incision or to pass a suture material or to control the bleeding. The most commonly used instrument is Edson forceps. It is available in the two forms, tooth and non-tooth. During soft tissue surgery procedure, it is frequently necessary to stabilize the soft tissue flap. When we holding the flap with the help of the Edson tooth forceps, we should be careful that the tooth of the Edson tooth forceps should not press the soft tissue with a larger amount of the force, otherwise resulting crushing of the tissue. These forceps become shorter when we hold the tissue in the posterior area of the oral cavity. For this, Tilly's forceps are there, which are similar to the Edson forceps, and they are longer, around 7 to 9 inch, and they work better in the posterior part of the oral cavity. Allis tissue forceps. This forceps consists of a locking handle mechanism and the teeth at the tip of the instrument. The main purpose of this instrument to hold the tissue under tension. For example, if we are planning to exercise Achilles striatum, we have to hold the tissue at under tension so that tissue can be excised properly from its step. We should never hold the tissue on the normal mucosa, which is to be left in the oral cavity, otherwise it results in crushing of the tissue. Russian forceps, it's a round-ended tissue forceps. It used to pick up the teeth that have been elevated from the socket and for placing gauze in the mouth. Babcock forceps. This instrument consists of a broad flare end with smooth tips. It's mainly used to hold the viscera, mucosa, lymph node atraumatically. Instrument used for removing bone. Ronson forceps are most commonly used. The sharp blades squeezed together by the handle, which allow cutting and pinching through the bone. They have a leaf spring between handle, which allow open on release of hand pressure. They are available in two designs, side cutting and end cutting. End cutting mainly used for removal of the interradicular bone from the socket and also removing sharp edges of the bone. Blumenthal forceps has both end cutting and side cutting. When we are removing a bony pieces or sharp edges, we should remove in a smaller bits at a multiple time, not at a single piece of a larger bone at the same time. Bone can also be removed with the help of chisel and mallet. It is monobevel. Its success depends upon the sharpness of the instrument. The mallet has a nylon facing. It imparts less shock, less noisy, and it is recommended. But the main disadvantage of chisel and mallet, it causes psychological trauma to the patient. Whereas osteotome is a bone splitting instrument, it is bibevel as compared to the chisel which is monobevel. It's mainly used for purpose of giving osteotomic cut in cases of orthognathic surgery, refractory malnourished fracture, osteoplastic and bone recontouring. This instrument can be available in the form of straight or curve. Bone file is a double-ended instrument which consists of a small and a larger end. The main purpose of the bone file is for final smoothing of bone before suturing. The serrations are such developed so that when we are filing the bone, it should be done in a pull stroke. If we try to file the bone in a push stroke, resulting burnishing and crushing of the bone. Bone can also be removed with the help of burr and handpiece. This is the technique that most surgeons use while removing bone for surgical removal of teeth. Relatively high speed handpiece with sharp carbide burr remove cortical bone efficiently. These handpiece should not exhaust air into the surgical field, otherwise these air can penetrate into deeper structures, deeper layers, which can result in surgical emphysema, which can be dangerous. In order to avoid the surgical emphysema, we should never use high-speed air turbine handpiece, which normally used in cases of endodontics. Instrument for removing soft tissue from bone defects. Periapical curette or Lucas curette is an angle double-ended instrument. It's meant for removing granuloma or small cystic lesion from the periapical area, or it's also meant for removing granulation tissue from the socket. It is different from the periodontal curette. Instrument for suturing mucosa. For suturing, we require an instrument, needle holder, tissue forceps, needle, and the suture material. Needle holder has a locking handle and its beak is short and stout, which is more stronger as compared to the hemostat. It is recommended that for intraoral suturing, we require a 6-inch or 15 centimeter needle holder. Let's see the difference between the needle holder and hemostat. Needle holder beaks are shorter and stronger. Face of the beak is cross-hatched to permit a positive grip for the needle to hold. Whereas in case of hemostat, its beaks are long and delicate. It has parallel groove. It doesn't have any cross-hatchet, which cannot permit a grip to the needle. To control the locking handle and to direct the needle holder properly, surgeon should hold the instrument in a proper fashion. Thumb and the ring finger should be inserted through the rings. Index finger held along the length to make it steady and directed. Second finger also help in controlling and locking mechanism. Scissors. Various types of scissors are used in oral surgery depending upon the surgical procedure. Suture scissors have a short cutting edge. The main sole purpose of these scissors is to cut the sutures. Dean scissors are the most commonly used scissor in the oral surgery for removing suture. These scissors curve and have sharp cutting edge. It should be held in the same manner as a needle holder. Soft tissue scissors. These scissors they mean for handling soft tissue. These are iris scissors and maximum scissors. These scissors can be having straight or curved blades. Iris scissor is a small, sharp pointed, delicate. It's meant for only for fine work. Whereas Metzabomb is mainly used for undermining soft tissue and cutting the tissue. Also, this scissor has a blunted nose tips. These scissors should not be used for cutting suture, otherwise it dull the edges of this instrument and let it become less effective and more traumatic when we are using these scissors for removing or cutting tissue. Iris scissors they are meant for very fine skin sutures. When we are performing a mandibular procedure or mandibular extraction, we require adequate mouth opening of the patient to perform a procedure on the patient. In cases of reduced mouth opening can be due to trismus or oral submucous fibrosis patient in case of infection patient. So reduced mouth opening lead to hamper our treatment. To achieve adequate mouth opening, we can place a rubber bite block. As the name suggests, it's a rubber block on which the patient can rest his or her teeth. If wider opening is required, bite block can be positioned more posteriorly in the mouth. These bite block can be available in different sizes from small, medium to large depending upon the patient variations and amount of the mouth opening required. Side action adjustable mouth prop. Mole's mouth prop is used by the operator to open the mouth wider if necessary. This instrument has a ratchet type action. It opens the mouth when the handle is closed. These instruments are used under general anesthesia or under sedation when mouth opening wider is required, like in cases of oral submucous fibrosis and TMJ ankylosis patient. So after release of TMJ ankylosis, we can place this mouth prop in the patient mouth and we can open the mouth wider. The care should be taken when we opening the mouth because these generate larger amount of forces on the teeth and temporomandibular joint which can result injury. So we should use cautiously these instruments when we open the mouth wider. Apart from mouth prop, we can use a mouth gate which can open the mouth forcefully in cases of trismus. This instrument is having a broad serrated blades and these blades are rest on the occlusal surface of molar and instrument is opened up slowly and gradually force is generated which lead to release of trismus and resulting in opening of the mouth. This instrument usually used under sedation or under general anesthesia. Instrument for providing suction. To provide good visualization at the surgical site, blood, saliva, irrigating solution must be suctioned from the operating site, which can be achieved with the help of the suction tip and the suction machine. The surgical suction has small orifice to facilitate suctioning of tooth socket when needed. The pressure suction available in different sizes has a hole in the handle portion that can be covered as the requirement dictates. As we are cutting a hard tissue under copious irrigation, this hole should be covered with the finger so that the amount of the fluid which is collected should be evacuated at a very faster rate. When we are suctioning a soft tissue, this hole should be left uncovered in order to prevent injury to the soft tissue. Apart from this, the plastic suction tips are also available, which normally used in a dentistry, but they are less effective when performing oral surgical procedures. Instrument for transferring sterile instrument. The transfer forceps are heavy forceps used to move instruments from one sterile area to another. These forceps are usually right angle forceps with heavy jaws, so instruments such as extraction forceps, dental elevators can be moved from one area to another and small items can be handled without dropping them. The most commonly used instrument for transferring is Chittle forceps. These instruments are usually dipped in a container which contain antiseptic solution. Instrument used for preparing the surgical field. Swab molder. This instrument has a long blade which is expanded at the end, forming a oblong tip. This instrument used for preparing a surgical site with the help of the gauze piece which is soaked in a antiseptic solution like betadine. It holds a swab and clean the area of operation. It also swab the throat in unconscious patient or a patient under G. It also press tonsillar bed to arrest hemorrhage and hold the tongue in unconscious patient. To isolate the surgical field from the unsterile area, we'll drape the patient and these drapes are secured with the help of the towel clip. This towel clip has a locking handle and a finger and thumb ring. This instrument has a sharp and blunt action end. These curved points they penetrate the towel and drape and secure the towels and drape on the patient. Make sure these sharp pointed ends should not pinch on the skin which can lead to trauma to the tissue. These also stabilizes suction tubes micromotor over the patient and also hold and retract the tongue in an unconscious patient. Irrigation can be achieved with the disposable plastic syringe which can be available in different volume 5, 10, 20 cc depending upon the need we can use. These syringe should have a needle which should be blunt. Usually 18 gauge needle is used for irrigation and should be bent to increase the efficiency of irrigation at the surgical site. Usually the irrigation is done when we are doing a bone removal or guttering, so steady steam of irrigation is done with the sterile solution, usually normal saline. It not only cools the burr, it also increases the efficiency of burr by washing away the bony chips particle and also lubricate the burr. It prevents the necrosis of the osteoblast cell by decreasing the heat generation during the bone cutting. After completion of the procedure, we also do irrigation before the suturing. Dental elevators are the most important tool which are used in extraction procedure. These elevators are placed for luxation of teeth prior to application of forceps, thus reduces chances of crown fracture. If the root is fractured, these instruments are also helpful in removing these root stubs. These instruments have three main parts: handle, shank and blade. Handle is has a generous size which is more comfortable for the operator to hold and transmit substantial control force to the tooth. The shank is a portion of the instrument which connect the handle and blade and transmit the forces to the blade. Blade is a working tip of the instrument and transmit the forces to the tooth or bone or both. Let's see the indication of dental elevator. To reflect the mucoperiosteal membrane which can be achieved with the help of periosteal elevator. To luxate and remove teeth which cannot be engaged by beak of forceps like the tooth which are rotated or malpositioned. To remove roots, fractured or carious teeth. To loosen teeth prior to application of forceps. To split teeth which have groove cut in them, and to remove interreticular bone. Dental elevator, they work on three basic principles: lever and fulcrum, wedge, and wheel and axle, or combination of these three principles. Dental elevator has been classified depending upon their use. They also been classified depending upon their shape. Can be straight, triangular, pick type. Straight or couplant elevators has a concavity at the blade which is to be placed towards the tooth to be elevated. Cryo elevator, it is a triangular type of the elevator. It has triangular plate at their tip and concavity on the one side. These instruments available in pair. The concavity should be placed towards the tooth to be elevated. They are mainly meant for removal of the root. For example, if we had done extraction of mandibular molar, the tooth is come out with the crown and one root is left in the socket. So we can place this elevator, that is concavity side, in the empty socket and elevate the root which is left in the socket. Warwick James elevator. It is of two types. It can be straight or angle, that is right angle to the shank. The straight elevators used for luxation of teeth, whereas the angle type, that is available in pair, it can be used for right and left side. They are meant for luxation of teeth in the posterior area of the oral cavity. They can be used for extraction of maxillary third molar or mandibular third molar, which are fully erupted. Whereas Apexo elevator, again they are available in pairs. They are meant for removal of the root stump which is fractured at the apical third. Next is your winter crossbar elevator or T-shaped elevator. These elevators has a handle and these generate a larger amount of forces and has a mechanical advantage of 3. These work on the principle of wheel and axle. Again, these available in pairs and these instruments used for elevation of the root stump which is left in the socket. Crane pick elevator. This instrument help in elevation of the root stump. This require a purchase point to be created on the root stump with the help of the drill. Drill is used to make a purchase point on the root around the 3 mm deep, and these elevator is tip is placed into the purchase point and the root is elevated from the socket. Another instrument, that is root tip pick instrument. It is very delicate instrument as compared to the other elevators, and they help in elevation of a small root stump which is left at the apical third, and we should be used very cautiously not to generate larger amount of force, otherwise the tip of this instrument will get fractured. Extraction forceps. These instruments are used for removing tooth from the alveolar bone. Ideally, they are used for removing the tooth which are luxated by the elevators. These instrument has three components in it: beak of the forceps, that is a working blade of the forceps, hinge which connect the beak to the handle, and the handle is a third part of the instrument. The handle has serrations on it which provide a positive grip to the operator. The handle of the forceps, they are held differently depending on the position of the tooth to be removed. For maxilla, the handle should be held in a palm up position, so that the instrument is positioned superiorly. Whereas in case of mandible, this should be held in a palm down position. That is, the palm is on the superior surface of the instrument. These forceps, they usually work on five main basic principles. These principles, these are the forces which is applied on a tooth. These forces can be vary depending upon the tooth to be removed, but the five basic forces to be applied on the tooth are apical, labial or buccal, palatal or lingual, rotation, and finally attraction. There are mainly two types of the pattern of the forceps, the American pattern and the British pattern. The American pattern has a hinge in a horizontal direction, whereas the British pattern has a hinge in a vertical direction. The beak of the forceps is designed to adapt on the tooth root at the junction of crown and root. They are mainly meant for the root surface, not on the crown surface. The width of the beak also vary based on the teeth they are to be used on. Maxillary teeth required a forceps which are designed for single rooted like for incisor, canine and premolar. Premolar usually bifurcated at the apical third in case of maxillary first premolar, and for molar they are three rooted. The specifically designed forceps are required for its extraction. Maxillary universal forceps number 150, they are slightly S-shaped curve when viewed from side and straight when viewed from up, and the tip of this instrument, a beak of this instrument, they are approximated to each other. These forceps are meant for extraction of maxillary anterior teeth including your premolar. There is a modification of universal maxillary forceps number 150, that is 150A. These forceps are designed for extraction of maxillary premolar forceps, and they are not meant for extraction of anterior, that is incisor, because of poor adaptation of the beak of this forceps on the incisor root. Another forceps, that is upper maxillary molar forceps, that is number 53. These forceps are available in pairs. The maxillary molar has three roots, two buccal roots and one palatal root. So these instruments have a beak of different shape. The one beak of the instrument is concave and smooth, which is adapt on the palatal surface of the tooth, and another is the pointed beak, which is placed on the furcation area on the buccal side between the two roots. So based upon these features, these forces has been designed for left and right side for extraction of maxillary molar. Maxillary third molar forceps, they are specifically designed for extraction of maxillary third molar, and the curvature is given to get accessibility towards the maxillary third molar, and the blades are made parallel to the long axis of the tooth. Bayonet forceps, they are meant for extraction of the maxillary root stumps. Another forceps, that is upper maxillary cow horn forceps, that is number 88, they are again available in pairs. These instruments have a very sharp accentuated pointed beak that to be placed on the buccal side on the furcation area, that is meant for extraction of a grossly decayed teeth with intact furcation of upper molars. So based upon these features, again they are left and right side. Let's move on towards the mandibular forceps. The mandibular teeth, they are again required a different type of the forceps for the extraction. The mandibular anterior forceps is number 150. It's very similar to maxillary universal forceps. The major difference in this forceps is the beak of this instrument is vertically directed for extraction of mandibular teeth. These forceps extract incisor, canine and premolar because all these are single rooted teeth. Mandibular molar forceps number 17, meant for extraction of mandibular molar. The mandibular molar has two roots, that is placed mesial and distal. So these forceps have the beak which is placed buccally and lingually, and there is no pair forceps like in case of maxilla. Mandibular third molar forceps, that meant for extraction of mandibular third molar which are fully erupted in the oral cavity. Next is your mandibular cow horn forceps.
It is indicated in cases of grossly decayed molar with intact furcation. These forceps has a pointed beak which is very sharp, and they place into the furcation area so that the furcation area is break and the tooth is removed from the socket. Physics forceps. These forceps are unique type of extraction system that provide predictable and efficient extraction in less than 4 minutes. They also provide atraumatic extraction without damaging the adjacent structures and preserve the bone. They eliminate the root tip fracture and also eliminate the need of elevation of flap, and very little operator movements are necessary for extraction of a tooth. Each physics forceps has a beak and a bumper. Where the beak does all the work, a bumper acts as a fulcrum or pivot point. When the forceps is applied over the tooth, a light constant pressure is applied to the tooth, result in a chemical changes in the periodontal ligament, and they release the Sharpie's fiber. Once the tooth is released, it can be removed simply with the finger or ronger, although ronger is not a instrument meant for removal of tooth. These forceps they work on the biomechanics of first class liver. Physics forceps are available as a set of the four instruments: upper left, upper right, upper anterior, and lower universal. The periodontic set of physics forceps are very similar to the standard set of the physics forceps, but they are much smaller as compared to the standard set.
Many dentists find it practical to use the tray method to assemble the instruments that will be used for specific type of procedure. These instruments are packed together, sterilized and unwrapped during the surgery time. The basic extraction kit include local anesthetic syringe, needle, cartridge, number 9 periosteal elevator, peripipal curette, straight elevator, small and large, college plier, cob hemostat, towel clip, Austin, Minnesota retractor, suction tip, gauze piece, and forceps. Surgical extraction tray require all the armamentarium which are included in a basic extraction tray. Apart from that, it requires needle holder and suture scissor, blade handle and blade, Edson tissue forceps, bone file, tongue retractor, cry elevator, ronger, handpiece and burr. As a surgical procedure is performed for removal of tooth or any other minor surgical procedure, so for giving incision we require a blade and a handle, and to debride the wound we require a instrument for debridement of the area, followed by suturing will be done with help of the needle holder and suture scissor. Biopsy tray include all the instruments which are there in the basic tray except the elevator. Apart from this, it includes blade handle and blade, needle holder and suture scissors, Metzbaum scissor for dissection of or undermining of the tissue, any tissue forceps, Edson tissue forceps, and curved hemostat. The post-operative tray should include necessary instrument for irrigation, that is syringe and suction tip, and the suture removal armamentarium, scissor and college plier, cotton applicator sticks, and gauze piece. Apart from all these tray systems, we can use a cassette which are more easy compactable as compared to the tray, and they should be covered with a sterilizable paper. So I would like to conclude this lecture by the following thought. Surgeon must well versed with the indication, identification for use as well as the technique of using the different basic instruments. The quality of the instruments are crucial as the knowledge and skill of the surgeon. Use of good quality instrument is inevitable in ensuring the expected standard of care expensive. The surgeon and the system must handle, store and use the instrument with utmost care. These are the references which are considered in preparing this lecture. Thank you and Jai Hind.